Good evening, everyone. This is Danette's Kitchen. I'm your host, Danette, and I wanted to share a little bit of information for you today, and it's really, really important. Um, Today is Thursday, August 20th of 2020. Food recalls. You know how I am, or if you've watched my show for any length of time, you know how important it is to me that people are eating things that are good and taste good and that are of quality and healthy for them and for those that they're preparing their meals for. Well, there are some food recalls today. I mean, my previous recall list was fresh produce. It's easier to at least, narrow down the date when you buy fresh produce, because then if it's recalled, it's like, oh yeah, I did buy fresh produce within that time frame. But this that we have today is a trip. First of all, the FDA issues a frozen shrimp recall. And I'm not even sure if I mentioned that when I discussed the produce, the onions and the red peppers and the lemons and Valencia oranges and all that. But the FDA has issued a frozen shrimp recall because of salmonella being found in some of that frozen shrimp. And this is frozen shrimp it's not only frozen, but it's cooked, peeled, deveined, frozen, packaged, that nice, convenient, ready to eat stuff that we go to the store and say, I'm in the mood for some shrimp. And we get that and we take it home and we hook it up and we eat it and share it with our loved ones or friends. So there has been a recall. And there are several brands listed in that recall, such as Kirkland brand, which is a Costco, a brand that's sold in the Costco stores. Where you can buy bulk quantities of things, like people buy bulk quantities of stuff when they're preparing food for a party or whatever. So that is one of the brands, the Costco Kirkland brand. There's the Fresh Market brand. There's the Aquastar brand, Reserve, Sensia, Tops, Unistar, and Wellesley Farms. And these are packaged shrimp products that were available in stores from February through May of 2020, which is this year. So if you still have it in your freezer, you may want to return it to the store or contact the FDA or go on the FDA, Food and Drug Administration website for more information regarding particular lot numbers, so I'm not reading off a list of a zillion lot numbers. This is just so you know that it came from these particular stores during this particular time frame, February to May. And as I said, a lot of times when we go to the store and we're getting shrimp, we're not getting it holding on to it for who knows what month later. Usually, especially if it's already cooked, peeled, deveined, frozen, it's usually, I think I want to have some of that. And it's usually consumed in a lot quicker manner. So, salmonella gives us the upset stomach, the diarrhea, and those particular types of situations. So check what you have and either toss it or see if you can return it to the store if possible, which can't be guaranteed. And who knows, the time period for when it was actually in the stores it's so far past. It would be easier for you to contact the Food Drug Administration or go on their website to look and see if any of the lot numbers that they have listed on their website match up to that packet shrimp, if you happen to still have that packet shrimp. Moving on, the USDA has made a ruling, which I just found out about it today. I believe the ruling was made yesterday. The ruling is allowing for diseased chickens to be processed for meat. I'm not making this up. Diseased chickens meaning the chicken could have like a tumor or whatever issues going on. People, um, farmers often raise massive quantities of chickens because in order for them to make any kind of profit on what they're doing, they have to have a lot. Um, because the loans that they have to run their farms and everything is pretty expensive. And I can do another video on that another time, and interview a farmer so that you can have a better understanding of it. But there are lots of chickens. And I don't know if you've ever been to a store, and there are some stores, which I will not name, that I've actually been to where I've purchased bagged frozen chicken and the legs were broke. What's with all these broke leg chicken? It wasn't like one random broke leg. Several of them had broke legs in the package, and sometimes that's because some of the chickens are given hormones so they grow faster and grow twice as big, but then their body weight gets so large so quickly that they're unable to hold themselves up. So the legs and the thighs, especially the thighs, get really big. The breast gets double the size of what a normal chicken breast would be if it was just a free range chicken on the farm. And I do know about free range chicken on the farm because, when you grow up with your grandparents and you're feeding the chickens, you get to know them very well. Feeding the chickens, feeding the hogs, you get to know them very well. But they're being riddled with disease. This is just appalling. And you can check the USDA website. I am not making any of this up. It just blows my mind. So having fresh food, it's good to know the farmer. If you're able to go and get your food from a farm or farmer's market or a place like that, it's a better deal. If you can get kosher or halal foods, it's a better deal because it's less likely that they will be full of hormones or having other issues. Because it's important for food to be healthy and in a good state, because what you put into your body does impact how your body performs and how you're able to sustain yourself. But these are just a couple of things that I just wanted to share with you tonight, and check into it for yourself. Don't just take my word for it, even though I wouldn't just say something just to say it. I'm saying it because it's true, and it blows my mind. But, what that tells me is that we have to be even more vigilant about food safety and food security. Hopefully, given all the things that have been going on this year with people having to be shut in and riots and, inaccessibility to grocery stores and things like that, hopefully through all this experience, which I've even shared my own experience here where I live, hopefully people have started to take some action and make some preparations for themselves. Put back some grains. Have, some bags of rice, and have some dried beans. And if you get onions, when the onions are not going through the listeria problem, go back and check one of my old videos, or if you want me to do another video on dehydrating foods, whether it be in a round food dehydrator or dehydrating them in the oven or dehydrating herbs, let me know. Put a comment in video and I will happily do that again. But because all this stuff is going on now with the red potatoes and the onions and all of that, I'm not shopping for that stuff, but I don't really have to worry about it because I had already made preparation. That's why preparation is so important. I've got plenty of dehydrated onions to use with my recipes. I just don't have enough, for the lemon juice and oranges, and for the things that I was planning on on preparing. So, which is why I've been taking time and trying to think of other recipes and other things that I can prepare. But there are other options out there, going to Emergency Essentials and getting the large canned packages of dehydrated or freeze dried foods. Like I have a large can of dehydrated sweet potatoes. Works just like a regular sweet potato. You just have to boil the water and you reconstitute it, let it cook down till it's nice and soft. Add in your butter or any seasoning or whatever you may want to add to it, and it's all good. So, Emergency Essentials is a really good option for something like that. Provident Pantry is a good option for something like that. Thrive Life is a really good option for something like that. And if you have questions about Thrive Life, check out some of Live Simple, Live Freeze videos, Bill and Elizabeth Keller. And they can explain more to you about Thrive Life and show you how you can use those dehydrated options. I would buy those things, but because I have my own food dehydrator, I really enjoy being able to dehydrate myself, and it saves a lot of money and it saves storage space. So it really is a good option. And while the weather is still halfway decent, aside from in those places where we probably have another tropical storm or something about to hit, it's a good idea to make some kind of preparation. Put a little something back. I'm not saying that you have to go all out and spend hundreds of dollars, which some people will do that anyway, but I'm saying just put a little something back in case there's a time a storm comes through, knocks out your power. I did a video on that last summer, about my experience with that and why I prepare the way that I do now. So it's a good thing to do. And it doesn't mean that you have to take everything that you have and do that. But if you go to a farmer's market or like a city kids market where the community is teaching kids about growing and urban farming and they're all over. You just have to look for them in your particular area. You can go and get a larger quantity of food, especially now that things are getting really big and it's time for people to harvest the tomatoes and the different things. And take those things, put half of it in the refrigerator, and let's work on the other half for you to be able to dehydrate or to do some canning, so that you can put it away. Because we don't know what the winter's going to bring. Honestly, we don't know what next month is going to bring. We've had a year full of really bizarre stuff. I mean, if we went back to this time last summer, we probably would not be thinking that in May that there would be a riot in my area anyway. The riot so bad that people are just like burning down everything and destroying everything, where you can't get to a bank, you can't get to a gas station because it's destroyed, can't get to the grocery store because they had to board up all their windows because someone tried to destroy that. Couldn't get to Target, couldn't get to Cub Foods. But I didn't have to worry about something to eat because I had a little something put back. And that's what I'm saying for you. It's good to be prepared and have things put back. And it's good to be vigilant and see that we have these issues that have been going on with the food. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it seems like these issues are increasing. Food recalls are increasing again. I mean, we had them a lot last year, and then it kind of calmed down, and then it started to build back up again. And we have to be prepared. Not just expecting that the worst will happen, but it's always good to have a plan B, because we don't always know what will happen. What if the power goes out? What if your refrigerator breaks down and everything that's in your refrigerator and freezer goes bad? Because it's only going to stay cold for so long, even with the door closed. And I've been through that too, which is another another added reason why I do what I do. It's good to have things in the cupboard, more than just what you need for the next 2 days, more than just what you need to make it through the week. To have some stuff, like I said, the dried beans, the rice, things that are considered staples, and no, you may not want to eat it every day, but when you're ready to eat it, we can make something in the crock pot, or using the steamer, or the oven, or we have a variety of options to make something to sustain you and your family. Or if it's just for you, cooking for one, to be able to sustain you. So, just something to throw out there. Take that into consideration. Check your food that you have in your refrigerator and your freezer. And by no means am I saying for people to not eat any particular products. I'm just letting you know what the USDA ruling is and what the FDA was issuing. They're issuing that frozen shrimp recall. So be mindful, be vigilant, take care of yourself, and take care of those that you love. Tell them you love them every day. And be prepared. Always have a plan B. What can you do if you don't have this, or if you don't have that, or if your funds for groceries and for food are extremely limited? You got to work within those funds. I've been in blizzard after blizzard after blizzard, even growing up, at times when it was like, what are we going to eat? The snow was so high outside, and I didn't even live here in this state. I lived in a different state at that time. But I watched my mother and learned from her how she prepared things. And it helped me to know what I needed to do so that I could be prepared for things like this. But you take care. We'll be talking again real soon. And just think about that. And check your foods that you have in your freezer. Remember to rotate stuff. If you have a lot of canned goods, rotate your canned goods. Check those expiration dates on them. Look at the cans. Make sure that they're not dented to the point where you can't cut it open. Or if the can top looks like it's swollen, toss it, because there's something icky growing in there and you don't want to take something and eat it that's going to cause you to be sick. Take care. Love you guys, and I will talk to you again soon.